He wore a heavy, fur-lined cloak, and his breath was visible when he spoke. "I didn't expect to find you up this early." "Habit. I always wake up early. Something I picked up from my father. What about you?" "Couldn't sleep. Busy mind." Given that his brother and father were outside, likely surrounded by wraiths, Harper could understand his unease. "Would you like to join me for breakfast?" she asked. He shrugged. That was the least enthusiastic response he'd ever offered to the suggestion of spending time with her. Perhaps he'd finally made peace with the idea that she was only interested in being his friend. At last he said, "Sure. Maybe it'll distract me." "I guess I can take you to the communal dining hall," the girl said. "That's where all the villagers eat. It's nothing fancy." That last was directed at Lachlan. He smiled. "My last breakfast consisted of cold beef eaten off a wooden plate, scrounged from a farm, while I stood in the snow. As long as both the food and the dining room are warm and I have a place to sit, you'll hear no complaints." The girl finally blew out a breath and said, "Okay, follow me." They crossed 3 bridges and walked around 4 raised sidewalks before she stopped in front of the largest building Harper had seen so far. It was easily 3 times as large as the guest house she shared with West. Their guide pulled the door open, and the most delicious aroma in the world, cooking bacon, wafted out. "Go on in and ask the servers on duty for whatever you'd like. I'll return to my post in case your friend wakes up." "Thank you," Harper said, her mouth already watering. "If West does wake up, tell him I'll be back before long." "Do you not wish me to bring him here?" the girl asked. "I don't mind either way, but West isn't good with heights. He's liable to faint if he has to cross all those bridges." The girl's stony expression finally cracked, making her look her age. "I'll be sure to warn him should he wake." She trotted off, leaving Harper and Lachlan alone. Inside, there were rows of tables and benches, about 1/3 of them occupied. It seemed at least some of the locals shared her habit of getting up early. They all wore similar orange and yellow robes. Whatever else you could say about them, there wasn't much variety in their wardrobe. Not that Harper was one to talk, given her preference for wearing the same leathers day in and day out. Along the back wall, a trio of servers, all youths a bit older than her guide, waited behind a waist-high table covered with steaming dishes, heated by glowing stones. Harper spotted a stack of plates on one end of the table and assumed that was where she was meant to start. In addition to bacon, she collected a roll, eggs, and mixed vegetables along with a glass of water. She and Lachlan settled on an unoccupied bench and dug in. Neither of them said anything as they enjoyed the delicious meal. Since she'd been traveling with the survivors, she'd almost forgotten what a well-prepared meal tasted like, and this was even better than supper since it came directly from the kitchen. 1/3 of the way through, she came up for air and said, "Whoever's in charge of the kitchen knows their business. If I can eat like this every day, I might ask Lynn to adopt me." Lachlan's lips barely twitched into a faint smile. "The castle chef could cook anything and make it tasty. I suppose he's dead now, along with everyone else in the capital." Harper debated trying to reassure him, but decided against it. They both knew the truth, and nothing she said would change it. "I can't imagine how big a job rebuilding will be. Jacob said it would be the task of our remaining life. Even then, it will be a wonder if we can complete it. Don't sell yourself short. You and your brother both seem pretty determined. If you put your minds to it, I doubt there's much you couldn't accomplish." He finally smiled, though it still looked sad. "Thanks. I'm sure we'll figure something out, assuming we both survive the current situation." The current situation. What a wonderfully bland way to describe it. Was that something they taught nobles to do? Harper didn't know, but wouldn't have been surprised. They finished the rest of the delightful meal in silence. She was just about to excuse herself and return to her lodgings when the kitchen door slammed open and a panting youth entered. The sun was up and bright behind him. Had they really been here that long? "Prince Lachlan," the youth said, "your presence is urgently requested at the meeting hall." They shared a look. Whatever was going on, it couldn't be good.